All right, guys. In this live edit, it's this is really focused towards the video partner in your business. So we've recently had a few people who have been part of our coaching, and one big thing is I got the video. Now what? Doing offshore editing, hiring someone. These are and partnering with someone. These are all different ways to go about it. But today, what I'm going to do is just go over the basics of. Let's just get here in the studio. Let's open up. Let's open up the raw files that we have, and here we are. You can see right here. I've got this project set up for us right here, and this is our typical, what we would call like talking head in the studio type of video right here.
Here too. I want to connect with her.
She was in the front row.
Yeah. I don't want to. Did you get her information?
And so,
I did not.
as you know, we do recommend basically 3 types of media for your YouTube channel. And one of them is the most efficient one, which is neighborhood tours. This is not a neighborhood tour. Although those are the most effective, we're going to get into that. We'll do a deep dive on that. And if you want to know like exactly when we're going to be doing more of this kind of stuff, go ahead, comment below. That lets us know what kind of content you need. I'm basing everything off of today's live. I'm basing everything that I'm going to go over in today's live off of the questions that we got when we went to R4 just a couple weeks ago. So this is a second type of footage that we're going to be doing today, which is in the studio or talking head. You can do these kinds of videos in the studio and or out in the field, which we'd consider kind of like a mixture, like hybrid. It's like a list video because you're in the neighborhood. So it's kind of ticking off the marks of being a neighborhood tour, but it's more talking head content because you're kind of going through a list, pros and cons, 10 reasons why I live in this neighborhood or not. Points 1 and 2 are going to be in this part of the neighborhood. Points 3 is going to 4, 5, and 6 are going to be in this part of the neighborhood. Point 7 is going to be in that part, and so forth. That format can be used here in the studio as well. And then the third kind of video is actually what I'm doing right now, which is a live, unedited, raw. It's out there right now. You're watching right now or in the future. That's the double part of a live. The double value of a live is you don't have to edit. I'm not going to edit this video. It's live. If you're here live with me, we can interact. You can see, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Let's go here. Boom. You can see our huge audience. Let's go ahead, put this on the screen. We're getting inception here. You can see a huge audience, right? Look how many of you guys are out there. But in the future, when there's a lot of traffic, when there's more of a community built around here, this is the live chat box area where you can chat with your audience, with your peeps, with your tribe. And then the good part about it is it's going to be live, right? So there's no editing as far as the live experience. Now, post live, I can go ahead and take all of this stuff that was shot live and then go up and treat it just like I would any other kind of content, like go back in here, import it here, chop it up, and then I can get all those kinds of short, medium, and long format contents that I pull from the live. So I can make stories, tall format that can go and populate all your tall format friendly platforms, namely Instagram, TikTok, and then YouTube Shorts, of course. And then you can put your mediums, which I'll get into another video, actually maybe in this video too. And then obviously the long is taken care of with this third type, which is live streaming because it's already live. So that's kind of a basic overarching theme, overarching framework to approach video content for your YouTube channel. Let's get into these edits. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dig into this video here.
There's like one.
So a couple things to note. It doesn't matter what software you're using. Think about the principles in everything that I'm sharing here. It can be applied on whatever software you're using. Let's just go ahead, address a question real quick that we get a lot. What software do you use? I'm using Final Cut Pro right now. I'm also using OBS. I'm also using Blackmagic Streamwear because all of this live streaming is a different beast. But for editing video, you could use the popular 3 are Final Cut Pro, Premiere, and DaVinci. I would argue those are all overkill for what you need to do. You could use CapCut. There's a desktop version as well as one for your phone, and it's free. It's a free software that can do all the things I'm about to do. If you want to do it at higher levels, then go for it. All right, let's do some screen share. We just dropped in this guy into our timeline, and you can see if we just kind of zoom out, this is a 22 minute clip that ends with a little bit of taking the camera off the tripod, where we at right here, and kind of doing like an impromptu crib style tour of our new content creation station, where we're going to be pumping out lots and lots of content. So we kind of know where the takeoff and landing are. The takeoff is here. We're talking about going to the R4 event, and the landing is here, where we're kind of showing, sneak peeking this content creation studio that's very much in the works. This door right here, this is our door, believe it or not. This piece of plywood. This is a legitimate space. This is a legitimate commercial space that we are renting for this purpose of creating content. It's not an office where we do real estate work. This is where we make content. And it's in its baby phases, as you can tell. And this is our landing. That's called the key light. This is our key light. That's our rim light. But you can do it with one light, really. So.
And here's a story. This big light thing is for production.
So this area. So since we know that our landing is right around here, around the 20-minute mark, that final 2 minutes is really, well, I would put a marker right here. Just tells me this is a reallocation of attention, because we literally changed from this to this. So I'm going to use that later. But right now, the first thing I want to do, this whole assembly right here of this, is I'm just going to go through, and what I call is the first pass is trimming the fat. Shortcut keys are going to be real crucial for this. I'm not going to go in depth. Later on, I'll get that thing where down here you can see like what keys I'm pressing just for faster, more efficient action.
After the first thing. So you were there listening, but I think
I'll start with that.
You were there listening, but I think, so there was like one lady and she was like,
Here's a quick little tip. I like to use J, K, and L. J, K, and L. J goes backwards, and if you type it again, it just increases the speed going backwards. K stops it. L is the opposite, so it'll go forward down the timeline if we just kind of do that real quick right here. It's like, for those of you who listen to YouTube videos like at 1.5, 2x speed, that's exactly what you should be doing here as well. That's just a common, like, square one efficiency hack. Save your time.
YouTube, but it's not working.
So I'm listening to it. I'm pressing K to stop. What did he say? I'm double tapping, triple tapping J. L to kind of skim through this thing, and I'm going to just start being brutal with the cuts.
You were there listening, but I think, so there was like one lady.
Boom. In fact, I'm just going to start there.
There was like one lady and she was like, I do YouTube, but it's not working.
She's asking most questions.
And she's like dominating the questions, so other people were kind of like, can I get my question in? You know? But the takeaway from her channel was, she showed me the channel at the end.
Boom. All of this kind of fluff here, gone.
She showed me the channel at the end, and I told her like, there's too much. I can't, like, everything about this is wrong. There's too much. She showed me the channel in the end, and I told her like, there's too much. I can't, like, everything about this is wrong.
Boom. This little fluff, we're getting rid of that.
Everything about this is wrong. There's too much. I can't teach you everything you need.
Redundancy, I'm going to just get rid of that.
I can't teach you everything you need to know in a short amount of time, but you need better thumbnails. You need to shoot different content for different lanes with a different strategy, with a different person and equipment. It's just all wrong. But I applaud her for,
Boom.
But I applaud her for trying, because she already has a muscle built, and she's trying. There's another woman who said,
boom. So right there this is a great example of how I would, let's just zoom out real quick. This is a great example of being efficient. So I'm editing the long format content, but already I know that this is going to be a standalone short/medium piece of content. So as I reach this point right here, I know this is one point, one story, one anecdote, one smaller piece. So what I'm doing is I'm going to copy that. Boom, duplicate that project. I'm going to rename this one as shorts. Boom. Go ahead. And boom. Now I know that when I come back here, yo, what's good? Why isn't it? Sometimes it does this thing to me. No. There we go. No. Well, anyway, I'm going to mark it right here. This is a standalone one anecdote. It happens to be 39 seconds. Right here. Sorry, I realized you weren't looking. This is now in a different project. And I'm going to continue going on here.
There's another woman who said, "Hey, I appreciate all your points. I appreciate the speech. Are you like, do you?"
By the way, here's a quick hack: is a lot of you ask about B-rolls as well, so I'm just going to go ahead and address that question while I pull up this library here. We're talking about something that really happened. Of course, we're always talking about something that really happened, but this isn't. We're talking about an event that I have B-roll for. So I'm actually going to pull up that event right here, and I know what woman he's talking about. He's referencing in this story right here that he's talking about. I know who that is, so I'm going to go in and find it. It's not over here. It's not. Don't mind the missing data stuff. Where are we at? It's after the stage. Here we are. It's around here. There it is. In fact, you know what? Let's just bring up this one because I know she answers these questions at the end. We're talking about this point in time, so I know I have actual footage from it. I'm going to see if I can bring this actual footage to go ahead and support this talking head stuff. You know, that's the biggest thing about B-roll is it sort of serves as an attention resetter, if not an attention amplifier. So when you have a talking head, unless you're really into it, which hopefully you are, and if you're watching this far, you're just a talking head will do. But for most people, you're competing with their attention. So to add B-roll in somewhere in here, usually, you know, for talking head footage, I would say I err more on at minimum 50-50 ratio, meaning 50% B-roll, 50% talking head. You know, as we are looking at this whole 100% talking head part right here, that last 2 minutes of it, whereas we're looking at the whole talking head portion right here, 20 minutes, the last 2 minutes of it being a little bit more interactive. Like this could stand alone. It doesn't need B-roll because we're moving around. We're seeing things. Not only do we have the person talking, but we have your eyes. The visual frame is talking as well as telling a story. Here, we don't have that luxury, so B-roll is used to sort of go ahead and supplement that. Because we're talking about an anecdotal story that I have B-roll and footage for, I'm going to go ahead and come here and actually just grab it, kind of like this part right here. Yep, I'm just going to grab this portion, copy that, drop it in here, and now let's find an appropriate place to place it.
There was like one lady, and she was like, "I do YouTube, but it's not working."
Yep, yeah.
And so
she was asking the most questions.
Boom. I'm going to.
I do YouTube, but it's not working.
Yep, yeah.
But it's not working. All right, let's see it. So if we go ahead and drop it in there, let's see how that works.
But it's not working. Hi.
Yeah, hi. So can I do?
Can we? I'll get out of there. Wait.
Good job, brother.
I appreciate it.
I'm on your stuff.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So you know.
I appreciate it.
Jennifer Medical.
Oh yeah.
So here's a good example of, I want the images, but I don't need the audio. Here we go, handshake. I know I'm not using audio. Boom, that's all I need for the image. And then we get to the actual part. I think, yep, he's referring to this woman.
So we have your first 30 topics on our web. The topics?
Yeah, the topic. We would
Choose the topic?
yeah, the topic or you do.
So, then we,
Yeah, sure. So how would you choose the topics?
Boom. I actually might use the audio for there. Boom, let's go ahead. Just keep the visuals here, right? Like that's a nice visual for B-roll. We're not using the audio there. Boom, getting real. Let me blow this up so y'all, boom. We can use that as sort of an intro.
Yeah, hi. So can I?
Actually, that might be the first shot we see.
Yeah, hi.
Boom. just enough there. Actually, we're gonna J cut this.
Hi. There was like one lady and she was like,
I'll work on the audio levels later, but
one lady and she was like, one lady and she was one lady and she was like,
yeah, we'll work on audio, but I think we're gonna go ahead J cut, lead it in with the real. We're talking about this event, so we're gonna see it first.
YouTube, but can we, I'll get away.
Yeah, we don't need that part. This part's gonna be B-roll. We're going right back to this audio part.
Working.
Sure. So how would you choose the topics? So all the photographers, they would
Choose the top.
so all the photographers choose the topics. So
Choose the topics. We'll end there.
So we have your first 30.
We'll get right to the answer.
So we have your first 30 topics on our website. You can steal ours, but basically your first 30 topics are going to be.
Boom. And you know what? Before we get the answer, that's like a cheap trick, if you will, where you see it in movies and commercials and all kinds of video content where someone has a question and then you cut. That's kind of what we're doing here. We kind of depends how much of this answer we want to give.
On our website, we have your first 30 topics on our website. You can steal ours, but basically your first 30 topics are going to be.
She was asking the most questions.
And she asked that she's like dominating.
Boom. So we're going to do this, right, Bob? We'll continue the visual journey, but we're going to stop the audio journey right there. And we're going to start this one, Bob. She was asking the most questions. A lot of times when you use pronouns like he, she, we're not getting into that conversation, but when you use pronouns that are identifying some particular person, let's see that person. So you hear things like it, she, they, show it if you can, but then we're J cutting into our talking head portion.
She was asking the most questions.
Like this.
She was asking the most questions.
And she asked that she's like.
Boom. See how that we can leave this part you play with, right?
She was asking the most questions.
And she asked that she's like dominating the question, so other people were kind of like, "Can I get my question in?" You know. But the takeaway from her channel was.
See how that that's the typical J cut. It's a long one in this case because we're talking about this exchange. So seeing it is valid, but we don't really need to hear the whole exchange. Plus the audio is not the best. We'll kind of sneak out the audio here.
She was asking the most questions.
And she asked that she's like dominating the question, so other people were kind of like, "Can I get my question in?" You know. But the takeaway from her channel was she showed me the channel in the end, and I told her like, "There's too much." I told her like,
we could do this.
Told her like, "There's too." Her channel was told her like, "There's too much for I can't like everything about this is wrong. I can't teach you everything you need to know in this short amount of time, but you need better thumbnails." You need to shoot different content for different links with a different strategy, with a different person and equipment. But I applaud her for trying because she already has a muscle built and she's trying. There's another woman who said,
boom. And then we're pretty much done with, if I just take this part right here, we've got one medium or one short piece of content here. And then I just put this here so it's easier to see. We got one short piece of content in the first minute. And if you just apply that to this whole clip, it's a simple math problem. You can see how many more clips are available in this long format to be repurposed into short formats or medium formats, right? So I just put that space there for us to see, but also that's somewhere where I might come in and put titles to let us know we're going to the next
there's another woman who said, "Hey, I appreciate all your points. I appreciate the speech."
Who said, we'll just cut the fluff.
"I appreciate all your points. I appreciate this speech. Are you?"
Boom. Let's get right to it.
"Are you like? Do you pay to look at channels or whatnot?" And I was very transparent with her. I said, "We do have our."
Boom.
We do have our coaching platform, Lead, Suck, Create Clients. If you send me your stuff.
When you can, this is real nitpicky, but it's worth noting, especially for the video partners out there who are watching. You get to a certain point when you can simply, even if this was muted, I would know where to cut because of the WAV files that I see here. simple editor. I say simple, but this is something all editors know. This WAV file gives us a lot of information. In this case, we're dealing with talking head. We're dealing with speech. So these kinds of wave signatures, actually, you start to learn to know what they are. And so an these kinds of fluff, I already know this is an even though it's muted. Look, I'll unmute it and we'll hear it.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Oh, okay, that was close.
I'll do my best. If
There's an It's a little bit more like Aries Rock-ish, like kind of like up, plateau, down.
if you send me your
So already I know I can blade right here, bop, and then blade, bop right there.
great client, if you send me your stuff, I'll do my best.
Boom.
I'll do my best to look at it. But once this thing grows, I can't be in the business of giving everyone free channel reviews because it would consume my week. And it's not fair to myself, my family, my team to take someone who's responsible for over $1 million a year team and 10 hours out of a 40-hour work week reviewing people's channels. And so, yeah, we will have to monetize it at some point. So I can't tell you yes or no, but go ahead and send it to me. She seemed disappointed. And when it seemed disappointed, she seemed
Boom. I know this is an again.
She seemed
Boom. So I know I'm going to cut that out. Bop, bop.
Go ahead and send it to me. She seemed disappointed. And she left after that.
Boom. And we know we don't need that either. Just being brutal with
She
it.
seemed disappointed. She left after that. But not disrespectful.
That's a smaller, lower decibel. Still in don't need it. Gone.
But not disrespectful.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, I think she probably already paid for a coaching product.
On that point,
Product.
Boom.
oh yeah.
And there's a deeply looking, and we'll get into these. Let's table that.
Okay.
We'll get into these to the competition. There was these two twins from Arizona.
Boom. Next, sorry.
There was these two twins.
Boom. Bop. Boop. Put a spacer there just for us visually so we can see. Now we've got two pieces of content separately as short and or medium that just by doing that over and over and over again, we'll have our long piece. We'll have a bunch of other medium/short pieces. And then really, I mean, at this point, you get it. It's just doing this over and over and over again. This is going to be a shorter live that I just wanted to, kind of experiment and let you in on the process of what it's like to cut up one of the three main kinds of videos that we recommend for your YouTube channels. Again, just to recap, the most efficient one is a neighborhood tour. I'll get into those later on. This one is a talking head. This is the first few steps that if you spend an hour doing this, you literally you could possibly make a 22-minute clip. If I spend an hour editing this, just the most basic way, that's at least 2-3 days worth. If you're posting three pieces of content a day, right? This is the talking head, which is the second version of content that we recommend. And then there is a third type of content we recommend for your YouTube channel, and that is the live, which don't be intimidated by all this gear, gadgets, and stuff that I have going on here. If I were to do a light breakdown of it, in fact, this very day right here that I'm referencing, that you see right here on the screen in my editor, this day, as I start to move the camera, you can kind of see the setup that we used to go live. I mean, here.
That's called the key light. This is our key light.
The key light, but that just means a light. In this case, this is my key light, the main one. I have another one right here, just out of frame. That's the rim light. But you only really need one. And these things, just to get started up, this actual setup is just like $300 maybe. I think the light itself is just under $200, and then the hood itself, this hood right here, is like another $100 or something like that. It's not too crazy to set up something similar to this. And you don't even need a light if you just know how to position yourself next to natural light sources like these windows in here. This is a whole nother video we'll be doing, but going live doesn't have to be like this live, what you see here. I'm not even using this. This is just for show, right? There's actually a 2-camera setup. So you'll see this angle, like a close-up. You can do this. If there's 2 people, then you would have one camera on the person like this who's talking to someone over there. If you've seen any of our podcasts, you get it right. So you got person 1, then you got the same thing for person 2. and then you got some sort of a wide setup. So if you have a 3-camera setup for live podcast guests, interviewing guests, maybe there's 2 people interacting, that kind of stuff, it gets a little more complicated. You might need some tools like this and that. And let me show you some of the software tools that I use too. You can see here, I got the ATEM software control opened up. I got OBS opened up. Oh, look at that. That's super Inception going on right here. And then, of course, it's all right here on YouTube through the YouTube Live. And so let's get back to, where do we want to get back to here? So really, that's kind of a short snippet into what the video partner does, and as far as creating more pieces of content from a single session. This was just the tip of the iceberg. We can get a lot deeper into it. I just covered one of the 3 main types of content that we recommend for you as you build out your channel. And as always, if you have any questions, go ahead, leave them in the comments and or hit us up on our website. If you yourself are looking to start a YouTube channel, then go ahead. I encourage you, visit our website. We have a lot of resources for you to get started with there, namely the free one, which is starting with your first 30 videos. We give you literally a list of 30 videos that'll get you started. And the reason we get to 30, it's not an arbitrary number. This is based off a lot of research that I have done, that Derek has done, and a lot of the conversations that we have with people who are actively producing content on their YouTube. And so 30 is around the time when you'll get one hitter, one of those that just kind of is an outlier when you're looking at your analytics. And so try it. 30 videos that if you do, we can guarantee, well, nothing's guaranteed, right? But you will not be in the same place that you are today before you start at 0 videos, that's for sure. And one more bonus, since you stayed all the way through this really, really lively, informative experimental live here, is let me go ahead and show you guys how I get my thumbnails for the channel. Here we go. Oh, no, you guys got to watch my screen here. So let me go ahead and no, not that one. Here we go. Here's one way to do it. Here on Fiverr. Now I'm showing you actually a few that we just recently did. What is more important than anything, I think, is this part, the details. Wait, hold on. There you see how much it costs. Requirements. This part, it's as simple as this. Look, I ordered 3 at a time. Thumbnail 1, I just write it out like this. Main title, $1.2 million. Talent 1 and 2, source photo, reaction. That's something that right here. Boom. There it is. Use this photo. It's a screenshot, right? It's like if I go here, boop, I say, I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, there's some action in this shot right there. You could doctor these images, but I'm just showing you the principle right here. I go and search through and find something that's a bit interesting, something that raises a bit of curiosity or emotion, something in there. And then I export that frame. Maybe both people are smiling like that. Then I would go here, file, share, boom, save current frame. However it is that your software does it. Boom. I send that to my guy, my Fiverr, boom. And I just give simple instructions. Please cut out 2 talents and the computer, just like thumbnail 1, reference.png, which is, I just, boom, Sirhan. I say, hey, look at what he did. Let me see what you can do, something like that. Boom. Background photo, interior Kailua, PNG. Again, that's just a screenshot. This is from a different video, which I didn't cover in this particular live. But you can see look at how simple these instructions are right here. Thumbnail 3, title, team building, talent source file, teambuilding.png. That's this one, teambuilding.png. Image, teambuilding.png. That's this one. And then look, boom, comes back, delivery. There it is. So I got this plus this turned into this, right? And you can do that for really whatever. And this is the other one the one that came out based off of this instruction. So, I mean, that's really just one way that I get thumbnails taken care of. A lot of the time it could be on Canva as well. I have about 4 or 5 different people on these other websites and stuff that I use sometimes. I am also able to just tweak things on Photoshop myself if I need to, but again, it's a time thing, right? So I could do it spending the time to actually make the thumbnails myself, but when I am so occupied in doing other things such as shooting, editing, whatever, I will leverage out these kinds of tasks to people like these designers here on Fiverr. It's just nice to have as an option when you want to sort of buy your time back, right? So, I mean, there's a little nug. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, we'll see you here. We'll be waiting here on Lead Suck Create Clients.